Good, it's working. Okay, moving on. What is the process of statistics? Process of statistics. What are we going to do? So number one, we identify the research question. In my simple example here, that was my question. Does smoking create lung cancer? That was my research question. And number two, we collect data. To answer it, to answer the research question. Like, for example, a sample of 1,000. In number three, we will describe this. We will describe, summarize, organize. Organize, summarize, organize, summarize, analyze data. And in step number four, that's when we perform the inference. Perform inference. What does that mean? About the entire population from the sample. Okay, variables. Stop me anytime when you have questions, please. Variables. I need other colors. Okay, we have two types. What is called qualitative. What is qualitative? Eye color. Social Security number. We cannot perform calculations with eye color. We cannot perform calculations with the Social Security number. We can't. What else? Give me another example. Sex. We cannot calculate male, female. We cannot calculate anything with that. The second type of variable, quantitative. We can perform calculations with quantitative. They are of two types though. Discrete, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth, or continuous, like 1.25, 3.99, etc. What does this really mean? Discrete, for example, number of children in a family. Can I have 3.2? No. That's discrete. Either 0 or 1 or 2, etc. What is continuous? As an example, weight, time. What about number of cars? Is it discrete or continuous?
Discrete.
Of course, you cannot have 1.25 cars. Good.
I have a question.
Yes?
Is discrete only a whole number?
Yes, absolutely. Like number of children, number of cars, number of buildings.
Can it
Yes.
be a negative number?
No. I can say that I have -2 cars. But when it comes to continuous, yes, the temperature can be -2 degrees. Yes, temperature could be negative. It's continuous. Okay, before we continue with the next step, what I wanted to talk next about is experiments versus observational studies. Okay, it's our next step. But now I would like to stop and do some work in MyLab Math. So you know what we need to do. There are other questions in there that I'd like to look at. I'm sharing my screen right now, and I have open MyLab Math. So 1.1 homework, I'm going to click on it. I'll let you choose. Let's start. Let me know when you're ready. Oops, I didn't mean that. Sorry, guys, you're in the way. Choose the correct answer below. So there are 15 questions, so I let you choose whatever you want. We can move on to the next. I wish it showed me a list of questions, but I don't think it does it? Ah! It does. Awesome. So I let you choose whatever from 1 through 15. Choose the correct answer below. Anyone would like to help with this?
Is it A?
Statistics is a science of collecting, organizing, summarizing, and analyzing information to draw a conclusion and answer questions. In addition, statistics is about providing a measure of confidence in any conclusions. Encompasses all scientific disciplines. Absolutely not. Is the science of manipulating? Oh, of course not. Please don't. Don't manipulate any information or data. Statistics encompasses all scientific disciplines. No. Absolutely. Number 1. Part A, I should say. Good. Okay, moving on. I would like to spend a few minutes on this before we move on to the second.
Let's do question 2.
Very good. Let's look at question 2. Good. Statistics consists of organizing and summarizing information collected, while statistics uses methods that generalize results obtained from a sample to the population and measure the reliability of the results.
Descriptive for the first one.
Of course.
And
Inferential. Inferential. Very good. Will we all agree? Is that a yes? Do I get a thumbs up or no?
Yes.
Good. Moving on. Next.
3.
Okay. We should jump around so that you can fill in the rest. We can do 3 since you mentioned that. Fill in the blank to complete the statement below. The entire group of individuals or items being studied. What do you think?
population.
Of course. That's it. It's not the census. It's not the data. It's not the sample. It's the entire group of individuals or items being studied. Like in my example, all smokers in the US. That's my population in my study. I cannot reach all of them. Not possible. But I have to be very careful how I collect the sample. So every time you hear in the news such and such poll, they say that this person will win whatever. Always ask yourselves, I need to know how they collected the sample. I need to know if they stood at the entrance to Whole Foods and just interviewed people and then they drew a conclusion about the entire population. That means nothing. So I need to know how they collected the information, how they came up with a sample. Okay, what about this? A subset of the population that is being studied. What can that be?
Sample.
Absolutely, yes. It must be a sample. It cannot be the population. It cannot be data. It cannot be the census. The census is a way of getting to everyone. assuming that everyone is reachable. So assuming that everyone is reachable, that's the census. We do get to absolutely everyone being studied. Good.
Question 10.
Okay, let's look at 10. We can come back. Explain why Social Security number is considered a qualitative variable even though it contains numbers. And the answer, before we read any of that, what did we just say a minute ago? That with Social Security numbers, we cannot do what?
You cannot perform calculations.
Exactly. Thank you, Gabe. Indeed, you cannot perform any calculations. You cannot add. If I add your Social Security number to my Social Security number, what do I get? Nothing. So, since Social Security number is a variable at the interval, no. Social Security number is a qualitative variable, since there are a finite or countable number of values. Social Security number is a qualitative variable since there are an infinite number of possible addition, and so nothing is making any sense here. Addition and subtraction of Social Security numbers does not provide meaningful results. This makes it qualitative even though it is numeric. Good. Is everyone working with me on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I think that this is very useful. It gives you the a boost to finish up this and finish up the interactive assignment, and it will not take you this long.
So we do have to do the interactive.
Yes, it's part of the grade. It has to be done.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, please don't forget. Good. Anything else you would like to look at?
Let's do question 15.
Okay, let's take a look at 15. Determine whether the following statement is true or false. If it is false, rewrite it as a true statement. A census is the count of part of a population.
Didn't you say that it's the way to reach everybody?
Absolutely. We just had the census this year, right?
Yeah.
So we all were supposed to fill out a form and send it in. Okay. The statement is false. A census is a count of the entire population. Although we know that this is the correct answer, let's read the rest. The statement is true. No. The statement is false. A census is a count of a sample. No. The statement is false. A census is not a count. No.
So it's a count of the entire population?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's a count of the entire population. Good. Anything else you would like to pick?
9.
Identify each of the following variables as a qualitative or quantitative. Political party preference. Can you add Democrat, Independent, Republican, and Green?
No.
No. So what type is it?
Qualitative.
Perfect. Natural hair color. Can you add, subtract, multiply hair color?
No.
No. So what is it?
Qualitative.
Good. Distance of commute to work.
Quantitative.
Good. What type? Discrete or continuous?
Continuous.
Of course, because it can be 2.39999 miles. Very good. And size of a home. 2,000 square feet, 500 square feet.
That's quantitative.
Quantitative. Discrete or continuous?
Continuous.
Correct. Very good. Well done.
So the continuous, can that also be a whole number then? Because what if it's exactly like 22 miles? Can that still be a continuous number?
Yes, because it's not. So very good question. Let me stop the sharing so you can see me. Very good question. So it's not the number that decides specifically type of variable. So for example, if I say 22, so I have 22 pencils. Well, the pencils decides whether it's continuous or not. The number of children decides whether it's continuous or not. Not the fact that I got a 22. If I got a 22, it must be discrete. No. It's the name of the variable that is the decision based on. If it's number of children, it cannot be continuous. If it's distance, even if I got 22 miles, it cannot be qualitative. It's continuous. It's quantitative and continuous. It just happened that I got once a 22. So it's the variable that we talk about, not the numbers in the data that determine whether it's continuous, discrete, or it's continuous, discrete, or it's quantitative, discrete, or continuous. Okay? It's not the one answer. It's the variable itself. So we have to go back to where the column of the variable and the name of the variable. If it says number of children, it's clear. If it says distance, I don't care what I get. I know it's quantitative, continuous. If it says temperature, I don't care what I get as the result in the column. The top says temperature. It must be continuous, quantitative, continuous. Very good question. Thank you. Let me share back. Good. Okay, anything else?
We were gonna, I guess we did number 9. Let's do number 7.
Okay, let's work on 7. A nationwide survey of 1,000 adults found that 50% of respondents favored a plan to break up the 12 mega banks. Perfect choice. I'm going to stop sharing because I need to explain something here. I want you to get used to writing down the information in the following way, moving forward. I'm on page 4. Okay, so in this particular problem, oh, of course, no one can see me. I mean, you can see me, but you cannot see what I write. So, nice.